Okay, so we've got our PoCo pool cover cleaning kit here. We're just gonna go ahead and unbox this guy. Inside you'll find a set of instructions. It's laminated, so you can leave this out, get it wet, won't hurt it. We have tips for installing our mop pads, and we have instructions for cleaning our covers. Inside you'll find 2 bottles of Protectant. This is our PoCo vinyl protectant that's got UV additives to restore the UV properties in your pool cover. And you also have 1 bottle of PoCo vinyl cleaner to help clean those tough spots off your cover. We searched far and wide to find the best spray attachments for these. They work great. We have 2 different types of tools inside. Our main large mop. This is our main tool. It's got 1 pad already installed, and there's 2 extra pads in the box here. Set that here. We also have our small tool. It's got 1 pad installed. This works great for those edges on the pool where the vinyl tends to sag down, and it's easy to reach in and get those side areas with it, right? We also have 2 extra pads for that tool as well. You'll also find our PoCo scraper, which helps when you're cleaning the cover and this pad gets wet and full of dirty water. You can use it to scrape downward on the pad to remove the excess water. In the kit included is this hand scrubber. It works great, fits right into your hand, and these little Velcro pads just peel and stick on, and this helps if you've got a spot that you really need to maybe get some elbow grease into it to help remove it. We'll go over that in the instructional video. Microfiber towels here that can help for different things, from cleaning to also drying. You can place them on some covers as you're rocking the cover, applying the protectant. Depending on how old the cover is, sometimes a little bit of the pool water can leak in. You can use these towels also to place them in the corner where the water's coming from to block it from coming onto the cover. So these we found to be very useful. 2 of those inside. We've got a way to store our tools. So this kit mounts very simple. There's just 2 black end caps that come on here, and you can see there's a hole in the top and the bottom, and there's some hardware that's included. You just screw these to the wall with the drywall anchors here, and then at that point you can hang up your tools. You can put both of these in here, as well as your nets and brushes, and just mount it to a wall somewhere in the shade is what we recommend. Okay, so the first thing that we do before we clean our pool cover is we need to assess our surroundings and determine the best way to approach it. In certain instances where if there's a wall here, it's kind of an obstruction where sometimes you can retract the whole cover and you can just extend 8 feet out and clean just that 8-foot section from this angle. But because of this wall, we're not going to do it that way. Because of this wall, we're just going to leave this the entire cover open. We're just going to clean it as we go forward. So we'll go ahead and proceed with that. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove all this loose debris, all the leaves and other debris that's on the pool cover. So we'll get our leaf blower out, knock that off, move on to the next step. We're going to take our large mop. We're going to take our large mop pad. We're going to go ahead and attach this. The easiest way to do it is to lay it down and just to take one end and kind of line it up with about 3/4 of an inch left over at the end that comes up like that, and then grab the other end, kind of stretch, and just lay it down in the center, and it just kind of comes around the edge like this. Now we're going to remove the pin and attach it to our pool pole. Some pool poles have to be extended before this will go on all the way. This is one of them. A good pool pole really helps out a lot. So if you haven't invested in a nice long pool pole, I highly recommend it. I'm gonna put this guy here, line up the holes, and there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is to get our hose out, which we've already pulled out. You want to have the hose accessible in a nice place kind of picked out where you are going to rinse out all the dirty water. So in this case, we're going to use the grass right here. And if you attach your hose nozzle, the best setting to use for spraying off the pad in between when it gets dirty is a flat spray. That way you can come right down the side of it. But for now, we're just going to get our pool cover wet, so we can use any setting that you like to do that. And we're not going to put a whole lot of water on there. You just want to get it wet. If you add it too much, then it takes longer to remove it all. Now we're just going to start working. In this case, we're not going to work on that side because of the wall over there. And there's a wall here. So we're just going to work from this side all the way over. And it's pretty simple. You just push it. You can see that the dirt sticks to the pad. It's just going to loosen it up. Extend this pole out, go all the way across with it. I believe this is a 18 or a 20-foot width pole. Just go all the way across it. And it's okay that it's leaving some dirt right now. I'm just trying to kind of break it free. We'll go back after we rinse this pad out, and we'll absorb that dirty water here in a second. Next step, whenever you see that you've got a lot of dirty water left behind, that means the pad is no longer absorbing that water. We'll go ahead and lay our mop vertically, like so. And we're going to get our nozzle set on flat for best results. Just kind of lay it up here at an angle. You're going to work from top to bottom. All right, so we're going to go from the top down to the bottom. You can see the dirty water just moves down with the spray. Okay, once you feel like you've rinsed most of that dirty water, it's time to scrape it with the PoCo scraper. And I've got mine right here ready in my pocket. And you'll start not vertically like this, but pulling downward. And it just pulls all that water out. Even though it's morning time, and by the way, we do recommend doing this early in the morning if you live somewhere that's really hot. It helps it helps when you apply the final protectant for it to cure properly. It will still cure if it's warmer, but it works better when it's cooler. But because of the heat, you can see that a lot of that water's dried up, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. See right here on this edge where the hot tub is, that this large tool is inadequate to get that top edge. If I laid it like this, I'd miss a gap right there. If I lay it right here, it won't get to the top, which is why we created the small tool, which we'll get to next. Okay, so I just wanted to mention, even though we've cleaned our cover with just using water and it was sufficient, there wasn't any really heavily stained areas. If there was, you could take the PoCo cleaner and you could spray it on a mop pad or on the spot and clean that area. And you don't have to use a lot. It's very effective. It's potent. So if you use a lot of it on your cover, if you have a really dirty cover, what you want to do afterwards is put your sump pump in the middle of the cover and give that whole area that you use the cleaner on. If you use a lot of it, give that whole area a rinse with the hose and try to remove that water from the cover so that you don't leave a whole bunch of the residue behind. So this is really just a as needed kind of product. If you use it for small spots, you don't have to do that. We did not need it today. I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so now that we've finished cleaning our cover with the big mop, we're going to go ahead and remove it. It just comes off like so, and we'll go ahead and take our pad off now. And this is a good time to make note that when this material, when the Velcro material gets wet, sometimes it'll loosen up just a little bit. It's just the nature of the material. As soon as it dries, it goes right back to being tight again. So don't worry about that. You just leave this somewhere. You can hang it up on your rack, or you can leave it on a flat surface to dry. And the same thing with the pad. We can just lay this out to dry. You can wash it, give it a good rinsing with the hose. Guess we could just do that right now. You can put this in the washing machine. If you do put it in the washing machine, then it's best to not put it in the dryer because it can shrink a little bit, and then it's a little bit tougher to get it to fit right. So I recommend just rinsing it out with a hose, bring it out by hand, and then just hang it up to dry. Or put it in the washing machine and then hang it up to dry. Either method works just fine. These pads are pretty durable. You should get quite a few applications before you have to replace them. But if you need more, you can go to PoCoShine.com to order more pads, protectant and cleaner. Out to dry. Now we're going to install our small tool, small mop here. This is one that we've used before for cleaning, and this is the one that we used for protectant before. So we separate those. You can write with a Sharpie on them if you'd like to, or however you want to keep track. But it's best to just use the ones that have been used for protectant with the protectant, not to clean with them. So keep those separated. Just gonna line up those holes. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and just get the mop wet. Instead of spraying the cover and getting it all wet again, I'm just gonna wet down this mop pad. So what I'm looking for are any areas that couldn't clean well with the big pad. Just like the big pad, we'll have to rinse it. So, in dirty areas, rinse it and make another pass until you do not leave any more dirt residue. See, we're getting lots of dirt off right there. Okay, we're making our second pass here with the little mop. Get these uneven areas. Okay, so we're done with our small tool. We went around all the edges and uneven areas on the pool cover, the hot tub and such. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this guy. Now what we're gonna do is finish cleaning our cover. The only thing we'd have left to do is if there was any spots we wanted to work on, we could go ahead and get this little tool. This is the hand scrubber. And get it wet. If you needed to, you could use some cleaner on it if there was a spot that was really stubborn. But I'm just gonna look for any spots like this little guy here that didn't come off like that, and I'll just take this hand scrubber. And sometimes you can get down in these creases a little better. This is all just up to you guys how meticulous you want to get with it. In our area, the way we get a lot of dust storms, honestly, on my cover, I don't usually take the time to get every little tiny bit. This cover looks great, just the way it is right now. But what you have to be careful of is sometimes these little spots get so embedded into the fabric that if you scrub too hard and remove it, you're actually going to remove a little bit of the cover and damage it. So I kind of feel it out with my finger and use this, and we got most of that out, so I'm pretty happy with that. But this tool will allow those guys out there that want to get every last bit of it. This will do the job. And these pads, you can just pull them off, rinse them, replace them. They're also available at PoCoShine.com. Okay, so now that we're done cleaning the cover, we've cleaned out all the corners, all the spots, we're gonna go ahead and apply a protectant so we get a fresh pad, or if you've got a pad you've used before for protectant, I like to tear off the others and just leave red for protectant, but you can coat it however you like to. After we're done with this one, we'll tear off the others and leave it for red. I like to avoid tearing and actually use the scissors, otherwise it can kind of open up the pad right there. So, okay, so we'll lay that down. Again, we apply one end here so that it comes up on the edge. Grab the other side and just lay it down centered, and it goes on easy. Now we'll put our pull on. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab our protectant. We'll go ahead and apply this protectant somewhere where the overshoot isn't gonna cause a problem. And I'm gonna soak this pad really well. Shake it well before you apply it. Now that I've got a lot of protectant sprayed on the bottom of the pad, I can get started. But pretty soon you'll see that it starts to dry out. And that's where it helps to have an extra person spraying ahead of you. And you don't want to spray any more than you need to. So I'll tell you when to spray because you don't want it to dry before you push it. You want it to dry nice and even. Okay? So you can see up there that it needs a little bit more. So Justin, if you want to go around there and just spray ahead of me. Thank you. It sprays quite a long way, so you can stand back and you can shoot it from a ways. Yeah. Just want to work in small stretches at a time. I don't want him spraying out too far. I want him just to work. That's good, Justin. So we're finishing up the protectant with the big tool, and we'll have to get out the small tool to get these edges around the hot tub. But we have finished applying the protectant with the big mop, so we'll go ahead and remove this this pad here. Again, I recommend cutting the tabs on it so that you can mark which one was used for protectant. Eventually they get dirty enough, since there's still always a little bit of dirt left over, you can't see that you need to wash it, but you could probably get another application out of that one before you have to clean it. So now we're going to put on our small tool. We'll swap out our tools here. The best way to put these on is to flip the handle forward, grab onto the back, squeeze them together, and then kind of get your thumb and just put it in like so. And we're going to soak this with protectant just like we did with the big mop. Get a whole bunch of it on there. I prefer to just spray the pad. These little guys hold quite a bit of protectant, so you really gotta put a lot on there. Now we're just gonna run around the edges with it.